As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elsmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Running the Red Line. I am Brett and I am your host for this Thursday evening. We have had to change it up from Friday, and I am here as always with my co-host Andy. How is the maranoia?
Yeah, it's creeping in. It's not even creeping in. It's moved in. It's been in my head for 16 weeks, basically. But the last few days, yeah, I've been questioning everything, doing everything, thinking that I've got the flu, thinking that I've got, my legs aren't working anymore. So maranoia is in full swing.
Excellent. I must admit, in that last week of taper before Manchester, I had moments where I stopped, and because I wasn't running much, I actually thought, do I even run? Am I actually a runner?
How do you actually do this?
Yeah.
How do you put one foot in front of the other?
Yeah. I had moments where I didn't, I thought it was all a dream and I didn't actually run. And it was just, something I'd thought about doing maybe in the past.
Well,
but I've
done, and by the time on Sunday arrives, I will have done 9 miles. Which is mental, because there was a time when 9 miles a week was a big shift, but now, in peak week, that was my shortest run, and it's mad how much time I've got on my hands, and how I'm just twiddling my thumbs a bit, and I've got itchy feet basically because I've just done 3 5Ks this week. I've done 2 of them already, one of them at Parkrun on Saturday, and I did a run today. So I'm never quite sure. I mean, I probably have to run 100 marathons to really know how to do it. And even then I'll be questioning it. But during taper, do you give in and just, turn your legs over and just do a few strides? Or do you just keep disciplined and just don't do anything that will risk, effort, basically? Well, today I totally gave in, and I did, I gave in. I did 5K, but I did 2K at marathon pace. So I just did 10 minutes the way I thought about it, 10 minutes of effort, and the rest was steady and easy. And felt good.
But I think that's what you've got to do. You can't spend the whole of the last taper week just running easy, because you want to keep in your mind and in your legs that feeling of what race pace is going to be. So
that cadence,
just running,
that rhythm.
Just running easy isn't going to cut it, because you're going to get to race day and do what I did and forget how to run. But I must admit, I put
whatever
quite
you
a bit
did
of effort into one of the runs I did on taper last taper week. But I think it was good to
whatever you did seemed to have worked quite well, because the race didn't go too badly, did it?
Exactly. So
it
was good.
What actually did you exactly do that week then? Do you remember?
On taper week, the last taper week? Yeah. So I did 5K on the Monday, just as an easy pace, as like a recovery run, as I normally would on a Monday. On the Tuesday, I went out and did 5K down to the gym, and then did my cross trainer and S&C. And then did a mile back. But that 5K down to the gym on the Tuesday, I did as like a progressive and got down to 5K pace.
Right.
During that 5K. And then on the Thursday, I did like a steady 5K down to the gym and did my cross trainer S&C again. And then on the Saturday before the race, when I got up to Manchester, did what I thought was an easy run, but obviously went out way too fast because you've got fresh legs and it just feels great.
So, you know, when you're on the cross trainer, is that basically as close as you can get to zero intensity? Like, is it like wrapping you up in cotton wool, basically?
Sort of. I'm doing it so my heart rate is around where it would be on an easy recovery run, and I'm basically using the cross trainer like after my runs to keep the legs moving but have none of that impact. So you're still getting a benefit from it, but it's really loosening up the legs and getting rid of all of that effort that you've put into them during your longer runs. So that when you do the S&C, it's not straight from mega effort straight into effort of like doing those movements and stuff. But also I use it as a bit of a recovery after the run. So it's good.
Yeah. Well, I only use the cross trainer when I've got like a free pass to go in the gym, which is like once a year. Actually, we're going on holiday in May, and there's going to be a gym where we're going, so I'll probably be cross training. So I'll do a selfie. I'll make out like I'm always on the cross trainer. I'll do an Instagram reel to make it look like I'll just call it like cross training is life or something like that.
I must apologize to everybody because I am a bit of a sweaty mess tonight because I've just finished my second run of the day, because it's a Thursday rather than a Friday we are recording. So I've shifted things around, and rather than going to training, ran up to my shop and then ran home to the gym and did all my bits. But it was a bit touch and go whether I was going to get back on time. So text Andy and said, I'm going to be a bit later. And he said, fine, because I'm still working on the quiz and making the questions a little bit better. But yeah, so I've just got back. I basically had, before we jumped on the recording, basically had time to do my stretching and have a protein shake, and then we're straight on. So yeah. Training for me, before we get into all of your final week before the big day this weekend, I just wanted to like mention I've got back into training now. So I had a full week off running. I didn't do any runs until Sunday night, and the London Marathon, watching that sort of inspired me to want to get out there and stretch the legs. So I did 4 mile on Sunday night, but that was it for the first week. So no running for 7 days, and then back in on Monday doing a nice easy run, and then Tuesday went back down to club for the first time, and we had a track session, and I have now, and I think you have as well, entered the Birmingham Half on the 5th of May. But obviously you're going to be running it at a nice easy recovery pace, but I want to try and take my marathon fitness into it and try and go for a PB there. So on the track session on Tuesday, there's some other members of the club who are doing Birmingham Half, and Andy basically said this should be your last big session before the half. So we did 4 times 1,600 meters, which is basically a mile. It's 9 meters off a mile. And he said, as you've just done a marathon, Brett, and you're only a week past it, maybe go out a bit easier and just see how your legs feel, and see how you go. Maybe go out at like marathon pace, maybe, and if you want to ramp it up to half marathon pace, that'd be good. So my 1,600 meters, we did 4 times 1,600 off 3 minutes recovery between each one, and I did a 5:36, a 5:36, a 5:40, and a 5:38.
Nice and slow.
I mean, my hamstrings are a little bit sore still after that Tuesday session today. But yeah, it was nice to know that I've still got that pace in the legs. So when I get to next Sunday, hopefully, I'll be in a place where I can really go out and run hard at Birmingham.
Yeah,
so we'll
good.
see.
I think the course suits you, doesn't it? Because it's quite an interesting elevation plot, isn't it? There's all the hills in the first half, then there's like a gradual.
Well, in the first like 5K, it is pretty much all the hills apart from the one halfway
by Cadbury World.
Yeah, well, it doesn't go all the way down to Bourneville anymore, does it? But yeah,
it's
on
that
the
neck
way
of the woods,
it's
isn't it?
down Pershall Road,
Yeah, and then it comes back, and it's actually all downhill on the way into Birmingham, isn't it? Like a 9, 10, 11, no, maybe not later than that. There's a good 2-mile stretch where it's downhill, isn't it? And then
it's not.
You get to Edgbaston.
You wouldn't say it was downhill when you're running it, but it is ever so slightly downhill.
Yeah,
it seems flat, but it's a bit nicer.
And I got mixed feelings about the Birmingham half, because I loved the start on Broad Street last year, because I've only done it twice and they've changed it.
Yeah,
like the 2 times I've done it have been different both times, and the last time I did it, I really enjoyed the start. Loved the Broad Street start, and I mean everyone around here knows Broad Street, because that's where you go clubbing when you're 14. And so good. Well, that's what we did in Bromsgrove anyway. We'd already got bored of the pubs by 14, so we had to move on to Birmingham. Not that I could get in anywhere, but go to McDonald's. And the finish, I didn't really like the finish, because it was somewhere called Smith's. What's it called? Smithfield. Yeah, I remember everyone just was on ones. It's like a waste ground, isn't it? It's like
it is. It is like it's like a war zone a little bit. It's just empty, like concrete with some concrete barriers plotted all around the space.
Yeah, and it's like somewhere where there's a planning application about to go through, but you feel like a block of flats is going to get built, but it hasn't yet.
Yeah, that area was where the beach volleyball was during the Commonwealth Games. So when that was on, it looked great, because they'd really decked it out for the Commonwealth Games, and then they pulled everything from the Commonwealth Games out, and it just looks like a barren land.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a waste ground, doesn't it? And everyone was stood on one side as well when you came on that last corner, which was very strange, because you've got no one on your right-hand side, and on your left-hand side, you've got people about 10 deep trying to see their person, and it was just like, why couldn't they have organised people to be on both sides, or what? Why did they? Yeah, so slightly weird, and I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same course as last year. I assume it is.
It's the same course as last year, So we'll see if Smithfield is any better this time. But I'm old, because I'm an old guy. I'm old enough to know the course when it used to finish on Broad Street, which was amazing. That
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it used to. Basically, the last used to come under the like underpass on the dual carriageway.
Yeah.
And then you'd turn left and go up a hill.
By Snobs, not far from Snobs. Are you down there?
Yeah, not far away from there, but not exactly where that was. But you'd turn. It was the other end by Five Ways, where you come onto Broad Street.
Oh God, it was all the way up the Hagley Road that way.
Yeah. So
I thought, okay.
You turned left off the dual carriageway and came onto a hill, and the hill went up, turned right, went uphill again, turned left, went uphill again, and it was a really steep hill. And I used to love that section, because it's where you could pass loads of people who were really like feeling it at the end. And then you turn right onto Broad Street, and you'd be by Five Ways, and you'd just run the whole of Broad Street and finish basically where we start. And it was wicked. It was such a great feeling running down Broad Street and all the crowds either side.
Well,
so why
they
changed that, I don't know.
You were obviously rolling back the years 12 months ago, because do you remember getting to the start line about 30 seconds before the gun went off? So you must have been doing like 3,000 meter pace to get to the start line.
I had to jump the barrier to get into my start wave to get up near the front.
The thing is, I was chatting to you about 45 minutes before up by Broadway
Yeah.
Plaza at the top, and you were like taking your time, putting your CBD on and all that, and I was like, you had loads of time.
I was proper relaxed. I felt like, I've got plenty of time. Yeah, and I'd sat around and like just contemplating life for a bit, and then went to the loo, got out of the loo, and I was like, oh my God. I'm not joking. I jumped the barrier and got into where we were starting, and they started the countdown. That's how like late I took it to. Yeah, it was mental, but there we go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, I mean, I wish it would finish back there, but rather than Smithfield. But I can understand why they're using Smithfield, because it's a big area where you can have a lot of people, and it's not on a main road, and they can open up Broad Street quicker and all of that stuff. So
what are your numbers then? What's your half marathon PB? And you got quite close to it last year, didn't you? Very close to it.
Yes. So my half marathon PB in an actual race is 1:21:45.
Yeah.
And last year at Birmingham, I ran 1:21:49. So I was 4 seconds off at Birmingham last year.
Wow.
But during training for this year's marathon, I ran a 1:20:40 off my watch. GPS, so I'm hoping, I'm hoping that I can dip below that 80-minute barrier and get into the 79s. So we'll see.
Wow, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? If you can come in like sort of sub 120, but yeah, it's a good race, isn't it? Good atmosphere, well supported, and it's the best local race we've got, really, haven't we?
Yeah, you've got me excited for it as well already, just by your message that you sent me earlier in the week when you entered.
Yeah, good. Well, yeah, I've got no idea how to run it. I'll tell you what, let's get this marathon out the way first, and then let's think about Birmingham. Probably a bit early basically, for me to decide.
As a bit of context for that, Andy's message this week was a photo of his entry with just the words "5 guys after" underneath. And I was like, yes, that has got me proper excited. I don't even care about the race now. I want to go in 5 guys. But yeah, so this also we should probably just touch on before we move on to your big week is London Marathon happened on Sunday just gone, and we saw some amazing running.
Before you start talking about actual runners, I don't know what happens to me, right? I don't know if it's my age. I don't know what it is, but I hear the music, the London Marathon music. Bear in mind, never even watched the London. I've never been down, never run it, never spectated. I hear the music and I tear up. I literally get emotional. And then when I see Gabby, introducing the day, and then they start talking to people, and then because I was out and about on Sunday, I had to take the dog out for a walk. So I was watching it on the iPlayer, and I was watching it, and some people were telling their stories. I was just sort of sobbing. I was literally crying my eyes out. I don't know what it is about that race, but the lengths that people go to run and raise money is nothing short of phenomenal. And it just has an effect on me. And I for that reason, I don't know if I could ever do London, because I don't think I could even make it to the start line.
Be a blubbering mess before you even start.
So I don't know what happened to me. I was just like on the dog walk going, like, oh God. Daisy just staring at me like, can we crack on with this walk? I'm like, in a minute, Daisy. But what an amazing event. And the stories, the people are the real winners, aren't they, of London? The stories, the fundraising is amazing. So amazing. Kudos to everyone and anyone who has anything to do with the London Marathon, because it's just the best event. It's such a feel-good event.
Yeah, it's incredible. I really, really hope that I have done enough to get in the Good for Age next year, because I just can't wait to get back down there, and especially as next year will be the 45th anniversary, so it's the 45th London Marathon next year. So because it's going to be a big one. So fingers crossed. I just want to go and experience that again.
And the last time you were there was 2018, 17, was it?
2016 was the last time I was there.
Right. Yeah.
2016. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be amazing to get back. I can't wait. Just
fingers
watching it
crossed
on Sunday just brought back so many memories. It was crazy. Yeah.
So we should also say it's on the same day as Manchester next year.
That's crazy.
Isn't that
I don't know.
a bizarre decision?
It's crazy that it's on the same weekend. Whoever decided, I don't know which one booked first, but whoever realised that they booked on the same day and still decided to go for it is mental.
Well, Manchester is obviously a week or 2 weeks later than it normally is, because it normally has that second Sunday in April, doesn't it? Or that middle Sunday.
Yeah.
And London is always around St George's Day, isn't it? Like sort of like 23rd-ish of April. So yeah, it's just bizarre one. So let us know if you know already. Which one are you going for if you're listening?
Yeah. What I did see was quite cool though with Manchester is they've said if you enter Manchester Marathon and enter the London Marathon ballot, that if you get lucky in the London Marathon ballot and you want to run London rather than Manchester, Manchester will give a full refund for your entry, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, fair play to Manchester for that.
Yeah, fair play.
But yeah, London, there was some great running up at the front. Man, I wanted Bekele to win. I wanted him to win. The fact he was just dropping everyone, all of the favourites, like Tamrat Tola was dropped, and they just went off.
He looked good, didn't he?
So wanted him to win. He looked great.
Is he 42?
He's 42, yeah. So he's a year younger than me.
That's amazing that he's still mixing with, he's still smashing the young guns.
Yeah.
So
I saw he said the other day that he reckons he can still run 2:01 in his 40s as well. So
wow.
I'm looking forward to what he does in the next few races. Hopefully he gets picked for the Olympics and he can show everybody what he's made of.
In the UK, in America, and most countries, we have a 3-person selection in the male and female.
Yeah.
What is it for Kenya? It's obviously just 3 as well to make it fair.
Yeah.
How are you? So in our Olympic qualifying standards is 2:08, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It must be like 2:02 or something for Kenya. It must be like.
But I think Bekele, I think he might be Ethiopian.
Yeah. Because the finish line, it was dominated by Kenya and Ethiopia, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, the women's
the top 10.
Top 10 women in the women's was 5 Kenyans and 5 Ethiopians, which is crazy.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the guy who won London was Kenyan, but Bekele is Ethiopian. So, and that's another amazing running nation. So yeah, how they can pick 3, I don't know.
So I mean, Kipchoge, I assume, will still have to qualify and just get in, does he?
He's got to be picked, but I'm pretty sure he will be guaranteed a pick now because Nike had their special event in Paris the other week where they unveiled all of the Nike country kits for the Olympics.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And Kipchoge was there to show. It's the one where he wore that amazing leather suit and those sunglasses in that one photo.
He looked so LA, didn't he? He looks he looked like
amazing.
Such a bad man. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's him guaranteed that he's going to be picked because if they're sending him out in Kenya kit at the Nike unveiling of the kit, there's no way they can't pick him. But Bekele hopefully is picked because people like Tamrat Tola is Ethiopian as well, I think. So he was racing against him, but Tamrat Tola dropped out of London and Bekele beat him. So although Tola's run a faster marathon in the qualifying period, Bekele's beaten him. So hopefully that plays in Bekele's favour. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But I just want him to go and just show what he's made of at another Olympics because it will be his 4th Olympics. Because he has the last 2 he hasn't been to. So it will be his 4th Olympics, but he's missed 2 Olympics. which is
Wow.
crazy when you think of it like that.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's sad, isn't it? If it was it injury or not selection or?
Yeah, just because obviously his original distances were like 5 and 10K on the track.
Oh, and he's become a long distance runner.
He's and he's transitioned to the marathon. But yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
Good.
But up front, we also had an amazing run from Emil Caress. Even more impressive as he ran it with a Casio watch.
I saw that. How epic is that? So did you know any what do you call it on his arms? Like you should be here at 5 mile, 10 mile, or does he just know these numbers? Do you think?
Well, this is the thing. I know it is really impressive that he's run it with a Casio watch, but he did have 3 paces.
Ah, yeah, okay. So that's probably why you don't need a Garmin.
At the same time, yeah. So he did have pacers who were keeping him on pace, but I'm sure in his head he knew where he wanted to be when he went through halfway, and he knew what his mile splits needed to be at the end to hit the times he wanted. So yeah, you could see him checking his watch in the last few miles.
Did he get paced up until 26, or was he paced up until
no
20 or 15 or something?
I think they dropped out. I think they dropped out at 30K or 35K or something like that. The last one.
Yeah.
Because the pacers drop out at different places depending on when they've been asked to pace to. So he ran amazingly. He ran the second fastest British marathon of all time.
He nearly was hunting down Mo Farah's record, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he ran a 2:06, and that gives him qualification. Well, again, so he's ran the qualification time for the Olympics twice now, but he is the fastest Briton that can be picked. So hopefully he's going. And then Mohammed came 4th in an amazing run. But I think people overlooked Mohammed because he ran a really good marathon. He'd already run 2:08 in Valencia, I think it was, but he just missed the qualifying time because I think it was 2:08:15 was the Olympics qualifying. He just missed out on that. So it was his second attempt, and he ran amazingly and ran the 3rd fastest British marathon time ever. So pretty impressive up front.
And you were saying about Emil wearing a Casio. Did you see what Mohammed was wearing, or who he's sponsored by?
He's sponsored by Puma, so he was wearing the Fast Star 2. Yeah. Have you don't know how weird the soles are on there? The carbon plate on the Fast Star 2
sticks out the front.
The front of the shoe, It
looks like something's sticking its tongue out at you, doesn't it?
Yeah, or it looks like a shoe that a villain would wear in Bond, where they clip the heel and a knife comes out the front.
So you can just take out some other runners as they run past you.
Yeah, something like out of Death Race 2000, taking out the tires on the other car. But so that was the men's, and then obviously in the women's, man, did you see the kick at the end of the women's race?
Yeah. It wasn't a Sefa, was it? Was it Jepchirchir? Was that her name? Perez Jepchirchir or something like that? I think it was.
What's her surname? Hang on. Because Tigis Sefa came second, but they had a proper good
ding dong, didn't they?
Tussle on that last corner, which was amazing. Come on, Brett. What's her surname? Was it?
If it's Perez Jepchirchir after all this,
I know. Yeah,
I'm confident. I'm fairly confident.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Perez Jepchirchir.
Easy for you to say.
I know, yeah. I just loved the fact that she had a proper tussle with a Sefa on the corner. Like, I want to take the inside around the corner, and the Sefa was like, "No, I'm taking that." And she went, "All right," and I'll just go around the outside of you and drop you like it's nothing. last
And
sprint to the finish.
Was it her who's never finished outside of a top 3 as well? Every race she's ever done, she's always podiumed. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And she's the Olympic, current Olympic champion. So she won the last Olympics. So, yeah, we shall hopefully see her up there again. But that was another thing. So both podiums, both the men's and the women's podiums, 4 of the 6 were wearing the Adidas Evo. So, not the Adidas, sorry, Adidas Pro Evo 1. Third place on the women's was wearing the Adidas Pro 3, but Bekele was wearing his Chinese brand sponsor
from Wish.
Yeah, which is incredible. The fact that he's gone, right, I don't need a Nike sponsorship. I'm going to be sponsored by this Chinese brand, and I'm still going to be up the front and showing everybody how it's done.
Yeah, amazing. It's interesting that there were no Nikes on that podium. Or was there one, did you say? Or none?
No, none. It was 5 Adidas and then Bekele.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me check his what the name of the brand is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anta. So a really small brand. Yeah, I bet they're massive in China, but the rest of the world, no one really knows who they are. But they're obviously making good shoes.
Everyone knows who they are now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a quick look on their website while we're chatting, because I want to see how much you can pick up a pair for. So the Anta CT02 5GT. If I press buy now, they're $180. So,
that's
what's
about
that?
160 quid, isn't it? Yeah, 160 quid. So still not cheap, but compared to the other super shoes that start at 220 quid, it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that's it. It said they're marketing it with Bekele. He was wearing those, I think. I'm holding it onto the screen. They're like sort of pink and purple colorway, sort of.
Yeah, I think his was red on the the London Marathon. Yeah.
Yeah, because the ones he's got on his feet there. I mean, it looks actually like quite nice kit, to be honest. But let's be honest, we ain't never going to use it. We're never going to wear it, are we? There might not even.
No.
You might not even be able to get it in this country yet. But
exactly. But I love the fact that he was like, I'm leaving Nike because I've got this other sponsor and I can do just as well without the top shoes, as they say. But so London, we possibly need to give some shout outs to people who ran it, who we were tracking. So I mentioned a few people last week. So Richard Banks, he ran a 3:04 and he had been struggling with a foot injury. So to run that is wicked. And I think he's hit his good for age time by running that. So that's
amazing.
Great. Lisa from the club, she ran a 3:03, which is amazing. Flying.
Phenomenal.
She said the wheels came off slightly towards the end, and she was feeling it, but she still run amazing to run a 3:03. So amazing work from Lisa. Then Paul West, he ran a 2:45, which is incredible. I think it was a 4-minute PB for him. So that's pretty good. And Mike Cowley, who I mentioned, he ran a 2:51, which was a PB for him as well. Amazing. There were several other from the club who ran it. So amazing. Well done to them. But I did mention my mate Vince, who had ran Boston on the Monday and went to run London less than a week later. And I think at Boston, he ran a 3:20 or something like that. At London, he ran a 3:09.
Amazing.
So, it's pretty impressive, isn't it?
That's incredible running, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, obviously, Kieran Turner, who had run Brighton a couple of weeks earlier. Yeah, he ran a 3:50 at Brighton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and he ran a 3:53, so 3 minutes slower at London. But he said what was an absolute nightmare at Brighton and was a horrible run, running 3 minutes slower at London was possibly the best experience of running he'd ever had in his life.
Yeah,
so to run slower and have the best time ever, it just shows that it's not always about the time, it's about how you feel and what the race is like.
Yeah, I think he said at Brighton he went off quite hard and paid for it the last 10K. Same story as most of us. And that was his marathon debut. This guy's run 100 milers and then comes back to do a marathon. And so you could on one hand say, well, if you've done 100 miles, you can do a marathon. But it's a different ball game, isn't it? It's a completely different beast. And he said that Brighton at the end of it, he really, I wouldn't say he didn't enjoy it, but that towards the end he was really, really struggling. And London, in comparison, just ran it really well and just enjoyed the crowds. Let the crowds take him home and had a good bit of fun with the with the crowds. And he said he bought all the pictures as well. And he said that he was so happy because there was loads of pictures. I don't know what it is about London. There must be 1,000 photographers because I think he said he got about 100 pictures or something. Is that normal for London?
Oh,
I don't know. He got a lot.
Yeah.
It's good value for money on the pictures.
Yeah. I got 99 photos from Manchester.
Well, I think he got even more. It might have even got double that. Yeah.
But I'd say half of my photos from Manchester, I'm blurred. So they're focusing on another person.
Yeah.
And I'm just in the photo.
Yeah. You're just there by default because your number has been recognized by the software. Yeah. But fair play, Kieran. Well done, mate.
Yeah, well done, Kieran. Did you have any others who ran London that you can think of?
Kieran Deegan, who does Worcester Pitchcroft Parkrun. Yeah. He literally lives across the road from me. And a while ago, he was telling me that he was going to do 2 marathons in 2 weeks. And I remember saying to him, "Oh, so how are you going to run, London?" And he said, because he did Manchester first. He said, "Oh, well, I'll just enjoy London because with the marathon majors, I just like to enjoy them, soak up the atmosphere." So he did 2:56, I think, at Manchester, which is similar to what you ran.
No, is
it faster than that?
I thought he did a 2:46, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh my God, was it?
I'm sure he ran. Hang on, I'm gonna have to go and check out now. Hang on.
Oh, I've got a feeling it was in the 50s. Maybe it was the 40s. But yeah, Kieran Deegan. So he runs parkrun every week with his lad in the buggy, and he does it 18 minutes
and absolutely flies every week. Yeah,
yeah. And he did Manchester, and he did it obviously very quickly. And I saw him across the road the other day, and he said, "I'm going to run London easily."
Kieran Deegan. Oh.
He
ran 2:59
at Manchester.
It says, yeah. I'm sure he ran faster than that. Faster than that at Manchester.
Oh, well, even if he did, he said he was going to have a recovery run, a nice chilled one around London, and he did 2:59 again.
What a guy!
So, yeah,
that's amazing. I'm sure he ran faster than that. I swear he did.
Are you looking at his chip time or his Strava?
No, he's on the Manchester Marathon website, so I don't know whether there's another person called Kieran Deegan and I've spelt his name wrong.
Is it Kieran with an A? I think you spell it Kieran.
Yeah, that's how I spelled it.
Unlikely to be too different, yeah. Anyway, so well done, Kieran.
Anyway,
2 sub-3s in a row.
A sub-3 a week apart is incredible. Yeah.
So he's probably earned himself 3
amazing
months
work,
off.
Kieran.
Yeah, and he's also doing New York in the autumn. And just really quickly, he was telling me on that same conversation across the road, he was saying that you can qualify for New York with a fast half marathon time. And he was saying that I think you might even be able to do that at most of the majors now. And he was saying that he's on a Facebook group and some people who've run a 2:40 weren't getting in to the London Marathon. And people that had run, 1:12 or 1:14 half marathons, or even slower than that, you know what I mean? Slightly slower than that were. And he was just like, what's this about? How come I've run a marathon qualifier and I haven't qualified, and people that have run a half marathon have. So yeah, bonkers to get into New York. That's how it all works over there. So
yeah, so if you want to enter London off a half, I don't think they do the good for age entry on half marathons. I think it has to be. Oh no, you can also apply for good for age at London Marathon by doing the virtual marathon. So do you know when you do it anywhere else and then you submit your time, you have to do your good for age time in the virtual marathon, but you also have to run a fast half as well to go with that.
Yeah.
But if you want to just enter off a half, you have to try and get a championship time. And the championship time for a half marathon is 1:12:30.
Right.
So you have to run a 72.5-minute half marathon to get in the championship.
I mean, that is incredibly fast, isn't it? But
yeah,
I think
championship entry off a full marathon's 2:40.
Yeah. But I think people are literally getting annoyed that people are losing out to half marathoners with fast times.
Yes.
Who have, and they've run a really quick time. Imagine running a 2:40 or a 2:42 or a 2:45 and not being able to get into one of the majors. You'd be seething, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, well done, both Kierans. You both did really well.
Yeah, amazing work. But so as we have just gone through that, should we now move on to the main man who is on the screen next to me? So this Sunday is the day that we've all been waiting for. It is Newport Marathon. It's on, Andrew. Andrew, it's on. Come on, mate, it's on.
Come back on, Andrew, and carry on running. If you can just do it in a Partridge-esque voice, that'd be brilliant.
So it is Newport Marathon this Sunday. So we are recording this on a Thursday evening because we have shifted things around so Andy can get to his alpaca farm bright and early tomorrow. So let's start with tomorrow. What are your plans and how are you doing tomorrow as a day?
So tomorrow's going to be really loosey-goosey, really chilled. Haven't even packed yet. Going to go and take the dog out for a nice little walk, and we're going to get back, spend an hour packing or half an hour, however long it takes. Then we're going to get in the car and go to South Wales, and we're checking into our accommodation, which is an alpaca farm. And we're going to get there for 3:00. And I've been chatting to the Airbnb hosts who seem amazing. There's loads of different animals. I did see on the pictures this yesterday, which alarmed me, a cockerel. And I thought, oh, that fella's going to be waking me up at 3:30, isn't he? Yeah. So hopefully hopefully he's lost his voice.
Yeah.
So Friday, we're just going to take a nice chilled day, sort of mosey down, probably have a stop off somewhere. And the reason we're doing it is because I really like to make the most of the weekend of these marathons, mainly for two big reasons, mainly for relaxation and recovery. And secondly, just because it's an excuse to see a different part of the world that I otherwise wouldn't have, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going there and back in a day, or obviously people have got work schedules and they can't stay over the weekend. But yeah, we're staying Friday to Monday. And yeah, so Friday is going to be really chilled. We're going to go down to Tesco before we set off, and we're going to load up the car with bagels, pasta. Going to have some jacket potato, I think, on the Saturday. Oh, we'll get to Saturday when we get to Saturday. So we're going to get some supplies in before we actually leave Worcester and set off down south. And yeah, we're just going to get there. We're going to chill, and we arrive. Here's Bobes. All right, Boba.
Mate.
Babes, I'm trying to talk here, mate.
Oh.
He literally showed me his ass. That's what he thinks of that story. None taken. If you are listening, there is a cat's behind on the center screen there. It's just gone as soon as it came. And yeah, so Friday's going to be nice and chilled, to answer your question.
Good.
Really nice and calm. No hurry. No work is all finished. The equivalent of my out of office is on because I've got no work to do. And yeah, just going to be trying to eat and try and stay off my feet as much as I can.
Yeah. Nice. So now that you've mentioned that, what is your food intake looking like over the next couple of days? Because obviously we've chatted quite a bit about carb loading, and we spoke to Will, and we were talking about when we start a carb load and how much we do carbs and what we start to cut out. So what is your food going to look like over the next couple of days?
Over the last few days, and before I go any further, this is pretty much, you know how you run to feel? I've been eating to feel, because I haven't measured. I haven't measured anything. I mean, I've had a quick casual look on the back of loaves of bread, and I've found out that there's, 90 grams of carbs in a slice of bread and stuff like that. But I haven't really been counting carbs, and I haven't been meticulous, let's just say. I haven't even weighed myself, so I still, because there's no batteries in the scales. That's why I stopped weighing myself. I got on them the other day. There's no batteries in the scale, so I still don't know what I am. So everything is pretty much guesswork. But
cool. I
have been cutting out. I've been trying to lose it. I'm sorry, I'm keep wiping my nose because I've got hay fever has struck me down this week, so that's why I'm probably a bit sniffy. But I've been trying to cut out probably, I don't know if this is for good or bad, but fruit, because I'm trying to get rid of the fiber. And the need to flush my system. I've been very chill. When you say coffee as well.
When you say fruit, what fruits are we talking that you've cut out?
Well, I'm not a big fruit eater at all. I only really eat bananas.
So I wouldn't worry about bananas. I had bananas in the run up. I even had bananas the night before.
So they're quite low in fiber then, or something.
They're quite carb dense, so they're good for.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
And yeah, just everything has just been beige, and it's just been beautiful.
Good.
Beige is beautiful.
Good.
So just been. I've had. This sounds again very like Groundhog Day-ish, but I've had pasta for dinner every day for the last 3 or 4 days. I've had, which has been a pesto pasta, some pine nuts. It's all been veggie, and I've been having bagels, crumpets, bread and butter. I'm a big bread and butter eater. I love bread and butter. Had beans on toast for lunch today, and looking forward to Saturday. My pre-race meal will probably be a jacket potato and beans and cheese. I think that's what I'll probably have. So if you are listening, stay upwind of me.
Is that a tried and tested pre-race day meal that you've done before?
Didn't have any gut issues at Manchester last year, and that's what I had. I had jacket potato and beans last year, and I just find jacket potato. And I'm probably going to be by Saturday. I'm going to be so sick of pasta, so I probably could do something different. And it's nice and easy to make, and we don't even actually know. We hope that there's an oven there because I don't have to make my. Well, can you make a jacket potato in the microwave? You probably, of course you can.
You can microwave a potato. It's just not very crispy and it's naff.
Yeah, we never do that.
You can still cook one.
But hopefully there's a microwave. But I don't know if there's an oven. I think there is, because I think it's like a proper like accommodation. It's not like a shepherd's hut. I hope. I'm going to have to double check this actually. I think it is. And so probably on Saturday that'll probably be the pre-race dinner, I think.
Nice. And you've obviously learnt your lesson from the past, so you're going to carb load gradually over the next couple of days rather than doing it all the night before the race.
But you know, carb loading, I didn't realise that carb loading was over about 5 or 6 days, not 5 or 6 minutes. That it takes you to eat your dinner at 7:30 on a Saturday night. But yeah, when I think about the Warwick Half Marathon in February, I had a stinker because I just ate way too much and I compensated. I basically had half maranoia and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to have enough energy in me to get myself around. And I did that thing where I was already hungry. So I doubted that I had any energy in me and wanted to fill myself up and overfilled myself and paid for it the day after. So like you say, learn some lessons.
So Friday's going to be nice and easy, traveling and getting up there and getting all sorted. Saturday, what's the plans for Saturday?
We're doing parkrun on Saturday morning. So Laura and I are going to a local parkrun in Newport. There's 2 in Newport, I think. One's in the riverfront, one's in the town centre. And there's another one which is like round a National Trust property called Tradegar House, which is, as far as I know, it's like trail, but like hard pack trails. I don't think it's cross country like Mudbath.
I was going to say trail might be a bit dangerous the day before.
But I've looked at several YouTube videos and they all seem kosher. And it looks like a flat parkrun as well. No hills.
Just look where your feet are going, please. Look for your feet placement and do not tweak your ankle the day before.
Did I tell you when I did Race to the Stones last July, which was July, funnily enough, in July. I did parkrun the day before. I was running with Laura and she was training for her half marathon, but we had an argument halfway through the parkrun because I was coaching her basically. And when you're the husband, sometimes you overstep your mark and you become a coach and not a husband anymore. She basically told me to F off. So I was like, right, I'll crack on. And as I was running, I went to overtake some people because I was going from like 11-minute miles. And I thought, right, I'll finish at 8-minute miles. So you naturally go and overtake people on the last half of the parkrun. And I went round someone at Pitchcroft and I just fell down a bank and properly fell over. Twisted my ankle the day before a 50K. And I thought, oh dear. So I did the race. I still did it. Probably shouldn't have. But I felt like, I'd got out of jail free really, because the twist wasn't that bad, but it could have been really bad. But it was ligament definitely, because I felt that ache for weeks after. So it must have been ligaments. But so I will definitely be careful at Newport because I know what's at stake.
Good.
So that will be like, I'm talking half an hour parkrun, 28 minutes, maybe not even that, maybe slower. So I'll probably be running 6-minute Ks, which is like, nearly 10-minute miles. So really nice and chilled. There's a few people already said that they're going to come down to the parkrun who are doing the race the day after. So shout out to Gaz, Welsh Gaz, who's followed me on YouTube for a while. So he's going to come down. So it's just going to be nice and fun, nice and easy, nice and chilled. And apparently there's good coffee there afterwards. So
excellent.
Chill and chat.
Good. And then Saturday evening,
at the accommodation, we found out there's a hot tub. They wrote to us and they said, "Dear Andrew, we hope this is okay with you, but we've just added a hot tub to our listing, and you can be one of the first guests to try it out." So there's a hot tub there. So I've got to try and not stay in there for too long, but I do want to use it obviously because it's pretty cool to get in a hot tub. But I've got previous with wood burning hot tubs. By the way, you can't really see this, but is it this arm? No, it's this arm. Can you see? The light isn't. You can't really see, but on my forearm of my left arm, on my birthday in 3 or 4 years ago, Laura surprised me with this trip to Snowdonia, and it had a hot tub, and I was packing the hot tub full of logs, and I don't know how this happened, but I had my hands in the air and I turned and I think I leant on the flue, and it was a metal flue. And I had that moment of, oh, this is cold. No, it's not. It's 500 degrees. And no joke, my arm, I've got like this like rugby ball shaped, where I've leant on it, and
It
it
just
has
melted your skin
scarred
off.
me. Basically, yeah. So I need to be careful about that, because when you burn yourself, you go all like hot flushy. I don't know if you've ever had a bad burn, but it's a horrible feeling, because you've got to try and put your hand under the tap as well, and your whole body is kind of under attack, really. So again, something else I've got to be mindful of.
Yes.
Don't burn yourself.
Yeah.
don't like tear any ligaments, and don't burn yourself on the hot tub.
Yeah. Don't do
get bitten
anything
by an
stupid,
alpaca.
basically.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah.
anything stupid.
Don't rule that out.
Cool. Okay, so Saturday night is going to be hot tub, jacket potato, and then early bed.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be. We'll try and get up nice and early, like 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, to make sure that I feel nice and sleepy for Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if I lie in, I know that I'm going to be up late. I'm going to be up at 12. I'm going to be up at 1 o'clock, and and the last thing I want to be doing is scrolling on my phone, because the more you scroll, the more you stay awake. And I'm going to be nervous as it is. I'm going to just try and hit the hay for sort of 9ish, 9:30, and try and get a good night's sleep.
Cool. And then the big day arrives, and Sunday. So how far away from the start are you staying?
We are about 5 miles away, and we're literally, so anyone listening to this doing the Newport Marathon, give Laura and Daisy a wave and a what can you say to them? Oi, Laura and Daisy, hello. We're going to be, our accommodation is literally on the route, so we're literally at mile 5. So Laura's going to sort of so she's going to be there. So yeah, we're about we're at mile 5, but we're, as the crow flies, about 3 miles away. So we're near a place that Newportians will know as Pie Corner. That's what it's called, PYE Corner. And there are road closures as well, so we've got to be mindful of that. So I think I've got to get there earlier than I anticipate. It's a 9 o'clock start. I think I'm going to have to be there by 7. Or because Laura's got to get back, and some of the city centre road closes at 7:30. So, and it's weird, because we're staying in this corner of Newport that's like one way in, one way out. So we could either get shut in or shut out if we time it wrong. So we'll have to just leave early, and I'm just going to have to deal with that. Yeah.
So with the start time being 9 o'clock, is that for everyone, or is the waves?
Yeah, pretty sure. Looking at this Bible that they sent us, well, it's twice as big because it's in 2 languages. But
it's like an A to Z or an OS map.
I know. I feel like we've just gone like as tour guide to London or something. You can actually get in the map. So the marathon and the half marathon go off at the same time, which is 9 o'clock. What time the 10Kers go off, I'm not sure. But looking at the route, the half marathon and the marathon share the same miles up until, by the looks of things, 5.5 miles. And then the half marathon branches off. And then the marathon, which I didn't realise until recently, we do 2, very similarly to the Fission 20 miler, we do 2 big 8.5 mile loops. And then we have the back into Newport. So it's like 5 miles out. And then from 5.5, we go round twice. We get to 21.5 or 22. And then we've just got the 4 mile back into Newport. So it's out of Newport, 2 loops, and then back. So hopefully by the time we're going on our second loop, it's not congested. Because that was one thing I was a little worried about, is the congestion.
Yeah.
Because there's essentially 3 races going on at the same time. But hopefully that's the most of my worries, because I hopefully don't have any pacing problems or anything. And, but yeah. So
so have you been
all going off at 9?
Have you been visualizing the route and what it may look like, or how you may feel at different points?
Well, I'm just really comparing everything to fishing, and I actually did quite deliberately 3-4 weeks ago on the last week of peak. I did a 23 miler, a 35k, 22 miler, and I did loops of the race course here in the river. And anyone that knows Worcester knows that there's an elevation of about 8 meters. Like that's really, really flat. A couple of river bridges. So I just did 4 loops of that, and I thought that was really quite good training. So I just need to that's about the closest that I will come to the race day of how how the race will feel, because even the fishing 20 miler that we did, I think that is going to be hillier than Newport, because I've looked at the elevation plot and it looks pancake flat, like too good to be true, like flat as a witch's tit. Is ridiculous. It looks so, there's no hills anywhere, and this railway bridge that everyone used to talk about, I think that bit's been taken out. So yeah, I've literally got no excuses. There's no Altrincham. And if the weather's good as well, which it looks like it might be playing up a little bit, I don't think I'm going to have any excuses. But at the end of the day, we've all got to run in the same weather. So, it's pointless to moan about that.
I was going to ask, how many times have you checked the weather today for
Sunday? At least 20 times an hour for the last week.
And what's it saying?
So at the moment, if there's been any changes in the last couple of hours, it is going to be wet, which isn't the worst thing for me, because I know obviously late April, it's been getting quite mild and quite warm. And by midday, it's sort of 10, 11, 12 plus degrees, which I think is a little bit warm to run in. I'd much rather it be 7 or 8 or 9 degrees, which I know is small margins, but they make a big difference in a marathon. But it says a 7 mile an hour winds, which is fine, and between 40 and 70% chance of rain, or whatever that percentage thing means. Because some people say it's where the rain falls, isn't it?
Yes,
the percentage.
It's the area of that it's talking about. So Newport, if it's the weather for Newport, the whole of Newport is 40% of that is going to have rain.
Yeah.
Rather than
I don't know.
40% chance that it might rain. So
yeah. So it looks like it quite likely we could see the wet stuff during the day, which again I'm okay with. I'm going to be in a singlet. I probably presume you're going to ask me about kit, but I'm going to run as if it were a warm spring day.
Yeah. So I mean, Manchester, when we started, it was 9 degrees when we started, and I think it was 12 degrees when we finished. So it was pretty decent temperature for running in. So hopefully you'll have pretty much the same, and it'll be good. So yes, kit, what are we going for? Let's go top to bottom.
Top to bottom. So I'm going to be wearing my Adidas hat, which is what I always seem to wear for these races, mainly because all my other hats I've got, like I've got this pink Varga hat, which I love, but when I put the clip on it to put my front facing camera on it, it just wobbles. It just doesn't feel good. So I don't like the way it feels. So I'm going to wear my Adidas hat, which is like a bizarre, I don't know how these colorways fit together, but it's like a neon green and pink color, which is quite cool. And I've worn it so much that the Adidas Terex bit has actually rubbed off. So it just looks like unbranded. So I'll be wearing that. And then I'm going to be wearing a new Nike singlet, what I bought when Nike were having a sale a few weeks ago. Bought 2 singlets. I was recently moaning about the price of singlets being like 50 quid plus, which is extortionate, by the way. I just think they know their benefit. They're literally taking advantage of people that are racing. But I saw 2 Nike singlets for $22.50 each or something like that, and it's the one with the upturn tick on the shoulder. So it's like I think it's called Dry Swift.
Dry Fit.
I can't. Dry. Is it? Well, yeah. It's. I can't remember what the. You know the one I mean, the one that's like upper level from. It looks like a race. It looks like a racing singlet. Yeah,
it's the lighter ones of the Dry Fit vests. It's the lighter range.
Yeah. So I bought a black and a mint green one, and I'm probably going to go for the mint green one.
Good lad.
And I'm going to wear I've got a pair ages ago. I bought a pair of. Have you ever bought some kit that you bought it and you think, why did I buy that? And it's crap. Just don't hate it. And then you pick it up a year later and you think, actually, this is really quite good stuff. And what I'm talking about, I don't know what the size is, but I bought what I call the Alan Partridge shorts, like really short, really short shorts. And I never maybe it was a self-conscious thing and I didn't really, it felt like a bit of an imposter wearing really short runner shorts when I first bought them. But now I just think they're really good racing shorts. So I bought some Ron Hill shorts 2 years ago and I only got a couple of wears out of them until recently. And they're great. They've got one back pocket, but what I am going to be doing is two things. I'll be wearing a belt, a running belt, my Salomon running belt, which has got like 360 pockets, 360 degree pockets. Sorry. That's a lot of pockets, isn't it? And I'm going to be wearing some Nike cycling shorts, which have got two side pockets because I don't want to risk running a marathon without my phone because safety or I don't know, it could save my life. I understand people that don't want to, take it because it weighs them down and whatever, but I just want to I feel more comfortable when I've got my phone with me. And also when I'm coming towards the finish,
as well.
And when I'm coming towards the finish, I can communicate with Laura and say, look, I'm 5 mile away, I'm 2 mile away, whatever.
Exactly.
I'll wear my cycling shorts underneath my Ron Hill shorts, which are black. And the belt, by the way, I'm going to be carrying my fuel and my cameras. And I'm even going to take a 250 ml bottle of water as well. Because which will be half full because I don't want to fill it. So that'll just be for emergencies because I've done marathons before, like I was saying, and I get dehydrated, which is why I've been trying to stay hydrated for the last week by drinking 4,000 litres a day. I've just felt like a humpback whale, just moving through life like this, just like constantly taking on water. And so I'm going to take a soft flask with me as well in the belt. And then I bought a while ago, went down to Asics in Gloucester. They've got like an outlet, all the big outlet running brands. And I bought some racing socks, which I love, which are really thin. I think they must be polyester. I don't know. Really thin ankle socks. And they're racing. Well, I don't know how they qualify as racing socks, road racing socks. But they're like my lucky socks. I always seem to wear them and I get a good result every time I wear them. And yes, I'm going to wear my Adios Pro 3s, which I'm mega excited about because I wore them today on my 5K and they just feel so sexy. And I did a video, my last week 16 of training video, and I did a Kofuzi style segment of like slow motion filming my shoes. And I swear, I don't know if it's because I'm running a bit quicker doing marathon pace, but I swear the shoes make your form look better. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, but my form looks so tidy compared to if I was wearing any other shoes. But maybe that's just me trying to justify the fact that I paid 170 quid for a pair of shoes. But that's what I'll be wearing. And the kit is gonna look really good. And this is but I'm in a green wave, unless everyone's got a different color for their wave. But so my race number is green.
I've got to say, although it sounds amazing, your kit that you're going to be wearing, it would send me over the edge and I wouldn't be able to do it.
Cross-branded.
You've got an Adidas hat, a Nike singlet, Ron Hill shorts, Asics socks,
Salomon belt.
Man, I would.
Garmin watch.
That would absolutely fry my brain doing that.
So I'm not too superstitious about race kit. Having said that, I always wear my Lucky socks, but I'd say they're Lucky socks. They're the only good pair of running socks I own. That's why they're lucky. But I'm not massively superstitious. I do mix up a lot of the stuff I wear. Like I go through phases a lot of the time. If I've got a cluster of races, I'll wear the same thing. Like I went through a phase of wearing a pink vest loads, and then I moved on to this, like they call it ghost green, which is like the one I wore for Manchester. I wore that a lot last year. But I just go through phases, and I just this singlet I bought recently, I really like. So
if it feels good, that's what you've got to go for.
Yeah. So that's exactly how it makes me feel. It makes me feel good. Yeah.
Amazing. So when you get there at 7 o'clock, what's the routine from that point up until 9 o'clock when the gun goes?
Well, I might integrate going to a charity shop with tomorrow, because I think I might go and grab a hoodie to chuck away or something. So, because if I'm going to be there a while, I mean, I'll probably use bag drop, but yeah. So I might go and grab a top that I can run away, chuck away. But I'll probably just be doing loads of sitting, loads of chilling. I think there is a sort of like an indoor car park, looking at people's YouTube videos where people congregate. So I think it's dry, but whether it's warm down there, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing loads of chilling, loads of just relaxing as much as I can. And then I'll try and warm up, not as late as possible, but I don't want to start doing, drills and strides and stuff at 7:15. I'll probably wait till sort of 8:45, 20 to 9. And I'll probably just do half a mile, like a kilometre or something, with a couple of strides every minute or something, only 10 seconds worth. And then hopefully by the time I'm stood in that starting pen, my heart rate isn't too high, because I will be nervous, which do play a big part on your heart rate and your race performance. Look at the Woo. He said like he was feeling anxious all morning when he did Manchester, and he's convinced that it had something to do with with what happened to him that day. So I'm going to try and just do everything to try and control my nerves and my not expend too much energy too soon. And it sounds silly, but in previous races, I've had maybe too much fun with the crowds. Like, for example, Amsterdam and Manchester, I just buzz off energy, absolutely buzz off it. So I give it back. And the good thing about Newport, by the sounds of things, after you've got out of the city, it's just a whole lot of hedges, a whole lot of bushes. I think it's very leafy. So that might actually play into my hands, that it's going to be quite a quote unquote quiet marathon. But little do I know, it could be rammed. I don't know, because there are technically 3 races going on. So, it's 10K half marathon. So it could be quite a well supported course. I don't know, but so I'll keep it chilled, and then I'll do some strides towards the end before go time. Yeah.
And then obviously 9 o'clock, the gun goes. And I know we chatted about this before we got onto recording, but
5-minute miles from the gun.
Gonna try and go through halfway at 1:20. So what is the race plan?
So I've had a lot of I've had, trust me on this, I've had a lot of time to consider this. And something that someone said to me on a YouTube comment the other day rang true. And they said, part of your problem could be that you haven't got a plan. And because you haven't got something concrete, you might end up not disappointed, but they alluded to the fact that you might be looking back, wondering what might have been. So
you might fall short because you haven't, planned exactly to the T what you need to do.
So I've assessed, and I've thought, and I've looked at my training, and I've thought about my, what I want from this marathon, where I am. I've thought ahead to Valencia and what I want from that marathon. And I thought, am I being too greedy by wanting this? Am I being too cautious by wanting this? And to cut a long story short, I've decided to go back to the original plan that I veered away from, and that is to push the boat out and try and run a sub 3:30 marathon. That's what I am planning to do. And it doesn't stop there, because not only am I trying to run the dream time that I didn't think I'm capable of, I'm now starting to believe that I am. I'm now also thinking, no, I am now planning, and I will hopefully execute a negative split. Because another thing that's important to me, like I said, in 2 hands, you've got, do I risk it for a biscuit, and just go out for a time, and then do whatever you have to do to get this time, whether that means running out, running on empty towards the end because you went out at 5 minute per mile pace at the start, but getting this time. Or on this hand, do you want to forget time, and do you just want to feel strong and feel good? Because that is the real heart and soul of running. You want to feel good. You don't want to feel like crap. You want to really feel strong. You want to validate yourself for all the training that you've done.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feel like a pathetic mess at the end. So what about if you could have both? That's what I'm thinking. And the only way I can think of doing that is a negative split. So I'm thinking first half, 146, second half, 144. So that's what I want to do, basically, which means me starting off slightly slower, finishing slightly harder. Whether I'll shift the gears exactly at halfway, or it might happen at 20, it might happen at 25k, it might happen at 30k. I'm not quite sure, but I really do want a negative split. I think I'll probably get to halfway and have a mental check at myself and say, yeah, I think we are going to push the effort a little bit, but it's going to be slight. Like you were saying for your Manchester Marathon, you would have taken a 127. Was it 127?
127.30. I should have gone.
You would have taken a 127.30 and a 127.29. You would have taken that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm thinking of doing is running I'm going to talk in Ks because I can't remember what the miles are, but I'm going to run the first half between 5 minutes and 5:05 or 5:03, which are small margins. Yes, I know. But because it's flat, I think it could be doable. And hopefully there'll be a big group of people aiming for 3:30 as well. So hopefully that might help. And the second half, I want to just be slightly 5 seconds quicker, looking at between 4:57 and 5 minute Ks. So it's hopefully not a huge noticeable amount of effort to increase by. Obviously, I know I could be in trouble 20 mile onwards, but that's what I'm really willing to try, Brett. I'm willing to see what's on the other side, and I want to just run with no regrets and try and find a new way of running a marathon, because I've never run that far that like that. So it would be a big statement.
I've got to say, I'm so glad you are finally believing in yourself and believing that you can run a 3:30 marathon. I've been saying you could for ages, and it's ace to know that you finally believe you can.
If you're tracking me on the day, because I think you can go onto the website and pop my name in, or my number's 735 for anyone that's tracked me. If you're tracking me at 25 mile and you can see my average pace, this is the best case scenario, by the way. Will you please pretend you're Morpheus from the Matrix? You know, when I'm dodging all the bullets, doing that with the agent, you can say, he's starting to believe.
Yes.
So, that would be the dream. That would be the absolute dream. And I can't, and if I've tried it and it doesn't work, then it didn't work. And I'm willing to, go back to the drawing board, but that's what I'm going to shoot for. So
but basically, whatever happens, it's going to be all out there on the course. Nothing left when you've crossed that finish line.
Exactly. And I think I'm going to get to maybe 35k, 7k to go is probably a bit too much. I might get to 39k, which is 3k to go, or maybe even 40. And then I might try and just run as fast as I physically can. Not a final sprint, but just noticeably pick it up again. I mean, I'm talking in best case scenarios here. It's a long way. 26 mile, 42k is a long way to run a negative split. Will my fitness be there to allow me to do that? I'm going to find out in just over 40 hours. But I'm excited to try. I'm excited to see, because I can do it for a half marathon, and I can do it for a half marathon at a quicker pace, 30 seconds per mile, per kilometer faster. So in theory, I can do it.
Yeah.
And not even in theory. In real life, I could do it, because I did it at Fission. Yes, maybe slightly a bit slower. I was running at 3:38 pace. but I can do it. So I know I can do it. I've just got to do it, and I'm going to try, and I'm determined to do it.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, I can't wait to actually see what you are able to do, because the fact you finally got that self-belief is a big step forward to actually achieving what you want to do. I don't think I would have run my 2:55 if I didn't believe in myself that I could run that time.
And what's amazing is people around you believe in it, and they I don't know if they see it or they're being hopelessly optimistic, but when people literally say, "I think you can do 3:30," you know, and they've been saying it for a while, you must start to think, well, maybe there is a bit of, you know, like you say, sandbagging yourself. There is a little bit of, there's a lot of self-doubt, because effort hurts, and being brave hurts. If you're a soldier going out on the battlefield and you want to win the battle, you're probably going to take some bruises. And I'm prepared. I'm prepared to go to battle with the marathon, and I'm going to come out victorious. So I'm determined to have a good race. And if I can't do it in Newport, I can't do it anywhere, because the flattest course in the UK. Apparently, it's in the top 10 fastest marathons in the world. That's what they say here, or something like that. And I've just got a feeling that now it's becoming more popular. This time next year, a lot of people, especially if they've got to choose between London and Manchester, if Newport's not on the same day as well, which it could be the end of April, people will choose to do this race, because hopefully, I'll tell you in a few days, it's going to be a good one. But that's the game plan. Fueling every 5K with my Voom bars. Going to be the electrolyte ones, maybe alternating, or still haven't 100% decided how I'm going to fuel, because I've got the ones without caffeine and the ones with. So I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do. What I'll probably do is leave the caffeine ones towards the end. So I can front load the non-caffeine ones.
Yeah.
Like Warwick Half Marathon, I'll avoid caffeine on the morning. And yeah, I just honestly, I know I only did 5K. I'm going to just listen to this in the future and cringe that I've just said this. But I did 5K today, and it felt so good. Like, it just felt so straightforward. And I said to myself, I reckon I could do 40 more of these.
Yeah.
40 more, because it's 42K and a bit. And I did 2K and I barely broke a sweat. So
so what you did today, that 5K, you've just got to make that feel the same for 8.5 times.
I did the run today, and my 5K splits on the way out, so on the first half, need to be, bear in mind today's run I did as a steady effort with marathon pace. I think I did it in 27 minutes, 26 and a half, something like that. My 5K splits need to be around about 25:20, 25:15 on the way out. And on the way back, they need to be about 25 to 24:50, 24:45. And today, the effort was only a little bit slower, but it felt like I was running easy, like recovery run. But that's what the taper does to you, man. So I need to be careful that I'm not living under false pretenses. Well, I am technically, because the taper does screw your head up, doesn't it? And
the first half of your marathon should feel easy. It should feel like you're running too slow for the first half. If you feel at halfway like you are a bit spent, then you've done something massively wrong. It should feel really easy up until halfway, and then it should start to get slightly harder as you progress on.
Well, I've thought about this in a strange kind of left field way, but this marathon next Sunday, all I need to do is run a Stafford, and then I need to run a Droitwich, because I ran a Stafford in 1:45 and change, 1:45 low. And that was, at the time, that was a huge win for me. That was my PB a couple of years ago. And then I ran Droitwich last year in 145 low or 144 high. And if I put them back to back, I've got myself up 3:30. So that's the way I'm thinking about it, and the way those marathons felt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
So
on.
now, if you run a 3:29:59, job is done. You are super happy, and you go away knowing that you've done exactly what you set out to do. If you run a 3:30:01 or 3:30:45, are we still thinking that we've done the job?
Absolutely. If I'm being honest, earlier this week, the target was going to be get as close to 3:30 as you can. Because my PB, which I would still be happy with, is 3:47 high. So I can still get 3:47 high and get a PB and be delighted. I could still go over 4 hours and have a good day because I could still literally enjoy myself because the run didn't go as planned. I mean, I would have really fallen apart second half if that happens. But I won't let the clock spoil my day. I just want to use it as an incentive to really enjoy my day. So it's not the end of the world. The time is never the end of the world. It's never like, because there's plenty more marathons in the sea. But I'm going to use it to just see. I want to run at my absolute maximum on Sunday, and I want to just see what I can do. I want to see what this little body of mine can do, and I'll get my little legs running like the clappers. And no, I won't be disappointed if I come in 3:35, which, let's be honest, could very easily happen. Maybe even 3:46, as long as it's
but it's not going to happen because you're going to run a 3:29.
Well, another thing that I haven't mentioned, we have mentioned this a lot during this last 16 weeks. Can you believe we've done 16 episodes of this?
Oh, no, mad, isn't it? It's mad, isn't it?
What I have mentioned is the importance, or what I found as important, as running steady. So I didn't do that in Manchester. I ran easy or ran marathon pace. I didn't run in between. So what I've done is I've created an even more solid foundation, I believe, because I've been running. When I say on Strava or just in general chit chat, when I say I've been running easy, I've probably been running steady, because that for me qualifies as easy. It's just a little bit less easy. It's a little bit harder because it's not marathon effort. It's in between. But the steady pace, that zone, I've become really comfortable running at that pace now, that in-betweeny pace. And I'm hoping that if I do bonk, if I do hit the wall on Sunday, that running steady, because, for example, when I do marathon training and I'll do 3K marathon pace, 2K steady, when I run back to steady, it feels easy. It feels... and then when I actually run easy, inverted commas, I feel like saying, oh, this is easy. But the other one felt easier. Or not easier, but the other one felt easy. So, I mean, we were chatting off air. We were saying, like, is my easy pace too easy? Maybe it is. Maybe I've developed my fitness over the last 12 months more than I thought I had. But I'm hoping that if, like I said, if I do end up running out of steam and bonking, when I start running again, if I do have to walk, the running that I do will be faster than it was in Manchester. Because when I stopped to walk, I ran again. I was like The Walking Dead. I was like a zombie. I was running at like 12-minute miles, as well as a walk as well. One of my miles last Manchester, I think, was about 12-minute miles. And so I really want to try and avoid that. So it's a long way round of saying steady state running for me has probably been the game changer this last 16 weeks.
It's getting that feeling of being comfortably uncomfortable. Because it's not easy, because it's steady, but it's easier than when you're really pushing yourself, and getting used to that feeling of being comfortable at that slightly uncomfortable pace is a really good basis for when you wanted to run a long distance.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm probably going to write, or at least learn, my splits and where I want to be at certain times. But it's just really nice to know, because it's a round number. 5-minute kilometers pace is a 3:30 finish, unless I don't drift and zigzag, which is another thing to factor in. I might need to just shave a second or two off if I'm feeling good towards the end to guarantee that I finish in the 3:20 something. But I'm talking in an ideal world, an ideal scenario. But I'm just going to have a go. I'm just going to have a really good go. And no one can really.
I'm really looking forward to tracking you and seeing how you get on and celebrating with you afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, like, this 16 weeks has been eye-opening for me, really, because I've had a really, really good block. And again, I've done it myself. I've written the plan myself. I've kind of improvised a lot. And another thing that I've really enjoyed this year is running with other people with a similar ability to me. And just makes the time fly by, makes the effort feel a lot less. Made some strides, I think, in the last 16 weeks.
Yeah, amazing. So Newport, it's on, Andrew. We've got a couple of other people running Newport with you as well, haven't we? We've got Rich, who is going down. You may have seen him on some of Andy's training videos.
He's got a massive big biker beard.
Yeah, and he'll probably be wearing a golf hat, maybe.
Yeah, we're wearing a Titleist hat or something. Yeah.
So best of luck to you, Rich, and then also Rachel Davis and her partner are running. So best of luck to those as well. Do you know anybody else running Newport?
Yeah, so Sam, who we mentioned, who did Paris, fancied another marathon. And he's doing
Sam
Newport.
Bauer's running it.
Sam Bauer's doing it, yeah. So his 3:43.
Fair play, Sam. Go for it, mate.
In Paris wasn't enough for him, so he wants to go again. So yeah, he's going to be doing it. A guy I know from Pershore called AD, who I ran Bourton 10K with, is also running as well. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and just before we move,
all of those.
Yeah, I had a couple of people send me some sort of pep talks, and I just wanted to quickly read them out, if you don't mind. So the first one I wanted to read, if I can find it, was from Gaz Barker. So Gaz says, "Lads, followed you both since Manchester 23. I also ran. Struggles, successes, and everything in between. Podcast has been built in addition for the Sunday long runs, building to Mancunia 24. Take the rough with the poof. Brett, congratulations on a well-deserved Viking pillage of the GFA time. Class effort. Fantastic. And the hard work has paid off. Saw you at 15. Literally thought, wonder if I'll see Brett. And then 2 seconds later, you flew past on your way out of Alti. And then for half a mile, 10 miles after, I was fuming. I missed my chance to shout, Mum, bye, bye, bye. I finished in 3:18. Oh, that would have been amazing. I hope that would have been amazing, wouldn't it? I finished in 3:18, which I'm delighted with. 7-minute PB.
Yeah, amazing.
But 3 weeks earlier, I genuinely thought I'd have to pull out as I was doing my last peak long run in Malaga, doing a bit to boost the Spanish running the red line ratings. Anyway, at the point in the pod where Andy says there's an expectation to succeed on the channel, I was thinking of my response to that. And I literally fell and headbutted a Spanish curb, not Andy's fault. Came home with 3 stitches and a bruised rib.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I recovered. Rib is still sore, and I ran the marathon. Andy, buzzing to hear how you get on next week. The jigsaw pieces have been perfectly placed. But yes, mate, no expectation on the channel. Just rooting for you to succeed. You've put the hours in, entertained us for months. You've loved it. And know that you'll give it your best. Either way, we'll have a top video and some more with the 8th quizzes. N is for Newport Marathon PB. Good luck, pal. Cheers, boys. Gaz.
Oh,
See what I
thank
mean?
you,
About
Gaz.
people
Yeah,
rooting for you. Like we've never met,
it's
and
amazing.
you have people that have just got your back, and it's phenomenal. Another one I wanted to read is from Scott, who said, we've been on a pretty similar journey pace-wise, both chasing that 3:30. I've just done the Manchester-London double and ran to feel on both. I ran 3:28 in Manchester. Stupidly, I thought a week later I could better that, but ended up running 3:37 at London, where I hit the wall at 8 miles. Yes, 8. And had to slug it for an awful long way. I clung on to 3:15 pace until mile 14 and backed out. Maybe what I'm getting to in a long way, whilst I've been with pride to you, is that I never expected to do well. These weren't target races, but like I see you do, I worked my balls off to get fit, put myself out there, ran the miles, made the sacrifices, and was proud of what I've done regardless of the time. Now there's your pep talk done. Get your singlet on. Remember a sore singlet automatically makes you faster. Grease up your undercarriage, load yourself up with carbs, and run like F word. This time I have a feeling that it's on Andy. So
Amazing. That's
that was,
wicked.
man, that is what a wicked message. So Scott, amazing. Thanks so much. And you forget that people actually listen to this stuff that we talk about and we put online. But the thing is, people like are going through exactly the same things we're going through, the same thought process, the same food we're eating, the same paces we're running, the same weather we're running in. It's like, it's just brilliant. I've never been so happy in my life to be part of this running community. Honestly, I sound like Kevin Keegan, but I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is incredible. The messages and the comments I've had since Manchester have absolutely blown me away. I can't thank everybody enough. The support all the way up to the marathon and the support since has just been incredible. So thank you very much to every single person who has taken time to write a really nice message. And yeah, it's been ace. And thank you to everybody who's watched the video so far. It's been amazing to see that do so well.
Did
been
I
amazing.
See that you've reached a little milestone for your YouTube channel?
I did indeed. That video, the last few training videos, because I had absolutely, I had an editing marathon that week, and I managed to get my last few training videos out and the race video. And through those, I have managed to hit that amazing 1,000 subscribers milestone. So yes. Thank you to every single person who has clicked subscribe and wants to watch this silly little man run around Redditch and go and do races. So yeah, thank you so much. It's incredible. I didn't think it was going to come for quite a while because it's been lingering around the same sort of numbers for a while, but it seems to have taken off the last couple of weeks, and yeah, I can't thank people enough. But I did want to go through. I did want to go to the comments on last week's episode. On our YouTube. So just go through them quickly. So Lee Chesterton commented saying he was listening to it on the cross trainer and he really enjoys it. He's inspired by us, which is wicked that people get that from us. Steve OxoCube said, nice one, Brett. I saw you flying past the other way at Deansgate. So I hope you had a great race, Steve, as well, up in Manchester. Lee Riding put, how good was Manchester? Still buzzing from the whole experience. Yes, it was incredible. Congrats on that 2:55, Brett, and good luck, Andy, at Newport. So thank you for that, Lee. It was incredible up there. The atmosphere was ace. 30-something Mike, fantastic job, Brett. An incredible race. Thanks for the shout out, guys. I had a blast in Manchester, and your podcast was the accompaniment to pretty much all my Sunday long runs in the run up to it. All eyes on Andy now for Newport. P.S.
Cheers, Mike.
I nearly got run over by a Deliveroo cyclist too. Mac, friend of the pod, Mac, has
Friend of the podcast, man.
Yeah, he has put, it's on, Andrew. Then the Matt B 2616 has put, amazing job, Brett. I think you've previously mentioned that you set off at the same pace last year, but tired in the latter stages, whereas you nailed it this year right up to the finish. Anything in particular you put that down to? So, yes, in response to that, I did set off back in 2023 at the same pace and went through halfway in exactly the same time and got to 20 miles. And that's when the wheels started to fall off. I didn't hit the wall. I didn't really tire, I wouldn't say, in 2023. It wasn't lack of fitness. It wasn't lack of energy. It was conditioning of the legs, I would say, and strength in the legs, because my calf cramped up, my quad cramped up, and then at 24 and 25 mile, both my hamstrings completely went, and I just got cramp everywhere, and I had to hobble in to get under that 3 hour mark. But what I would say has completely changed this year and made the difference was that strength and conditioning. I think using the cross trainer to loosen up the legs after sessions really helped, but that regular strength training really helped. I think I possibly overdid it in 2023 because I was doing exercises every single night. Whereas this year, I've been more focused on doing the exercises properly and building up strength, but doing it 2 or 3 times a week. So rather than doing it too often, I was giving my legs time to recover before I went again. Whereas when I was doing it every single night, there is no recovery. So I think that strength training is the key, that strength and conditioning. So I'm going to continue that and try and make my legs even stronger and bulletproof. And hopefully we can keep on pushing. But yeah, so thank you for that, Matt. Sensi Simon says, well done, Brett. Pace like a dream. I've enjoyed listening to your podcast on my long Sunday runs in the lead up to Newport. So he is running Newport. Good luck, Andy. Hope the weather is kind for us. So Simon, best of luck in Newport.
See you there, Simon.
Andy Devine has commented, said, thanks for the shout out, boys, about his time at Manchester, 2:56. Yes, Andy. And he's let us know it is pronounced like the word divine. So it is Andy Devine. He said it was an awesome day. Unfortunately, I am now going to have to race again, and this time we'll run together. So as I said, he said if it didn't go well, he was never doing a marathon again. It went really well. So obviously, I think as well, he told me earlier in the week when he messaged me, he said he's already signed up for Manchester 2025. So he will be back up on those Manchester streets to go and run even faster. So that's ace. Rob T. Cole, congrats, Brett. Congrats, Brett. Insane pace. Manchester was my first marathon. I had a great, measured, sensible plan, which went out the window the night before when I poured over my training numbers and decided I could do a sub 4. First 6 5K splits were 4 hour pace, almost to the second. Then at 30K, boom, wheels fell off and the engine exploded. Limped in at 4:22:28. Pretty similar to Andy's first effort in Brighton.
Yeah.
The marathon humbles you, but the atmosphere was unforgettable. In the ballot for London, but doing Edinburgh 2025 if my lottery numbers don't come up. Can't thank you guys enough for soundtracking my training plan. Keep it up and good luck for Newport, Andy. So awesome. Thank you very much, Rob. Great work. The marathon is a beast, and sometimes it's kind and sometimes it's cruel. But well done for getting to the finish. You finished. That's what matters. And 4:22 is still a great time. Chris Morris, well done, Brett. I did the London Marathon yesterday in 4:03:48, a new PB of 17 minutes. incredible work, Chris. So congratulations on that.
Super.
And then Mark G says, I've always said Audi should make a car called the Audi Partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett's grown when he realised you meant Howdy. Quality stuff as always, lads. So brilliant. And then Kieran has commented, but we've already spoken about his marathon. So yeah. So thank you very much to everybody for the comments. If you do want to leave any questions or any good luck comments for Andy, please do so on this video.
Or maybe should we ever predict the time again? Should we put it on our Instagram as well?
Oh yes, I will. Yeah, I'll put that up on the Instagram, and yeah, we'll have a predict the time. And yeah, I don't mind providing a prize again. If people want to try and guess Andy's time, I will put up a prize for that. Definitely. Sweet.
Okay. Well, on the subject just before you mentioned that of people groaning about stupid, rubbish, badly cryptic answers, it's time for Jesus, mate. 1:45. Hopefully, I will have run a half marathon quicker than this on Sunday. And we haven't even got to the end of the podcast quiz. It's time for Brett's end of the podcast quiz. So, there is a connection. 5 questions. Have you got your pen and paper ready?
I have indeed.
Here we go. Question 1. Which structure designed by Anthony Gormley stands on the A1 between Washington and Gateshead?
The Angel of the North.
Very
Anthony Gormley.
Has he done quite a few structures? Quite a few.
Yeah. I love Anthony Gormley's work. He did the one on the beach. I can't remember where it is, but it's lots of figures standing or kneeling and stuff on the beach.
Liverpool.
Yeah. And then he also did Cloud down in London, which is like it looks like a cloud of random bits of metal, but when you stand in the correct place, you can see a figure in the middle of the cloud.
Right.
He's done loads.
There's one
and he did the Iron Man that used to be in Birmingham as well. I don't know if it's still there, but do you know where the Floozy and the Jacuzzi is?
Yeah.
Museum and Art Gallery. He did that Iron Man that was there.
Statue, because I've been down to a place called Ilfracombe in Devon before, and it's Damien Hirst, and there's like there's someone lifting a sword, and it's a pregnant woman with like her belly cut out, so you can see.
Yeah.
It looks like it's proper weird, but it's
that's Damien Hirst for you.
Yeah, it's obviously equally weird. Okay, question 2: what is the emblem of the French rugby team?
It's a cockerel.
Correct. Question 3. No, I'm going to ask you this one first. Which film franchise has villainous characters such as Max Zorin, Alec Trevelyan, and Hugo Drax?
Wait, what is it? A franchise?
Yeah, so like Star Wars, for example.
Yeah. So is it a sci-fi franchise?
No, it's not.
Okay. Can you say the names again?
Max Zorin, Alec Trevelyan, and Hugo Drax. One of them was played by Christopher Walken. That's what I'll say. And another one was played by Sean Bean. Moving on. Next question. Question 4. Which body organ produces exocrine and endocrine, I think that's how you say it, to aid digestion and also helps to control blood sugar levels? Which body organ produces exocrine and endocrine to aid digestion and to control blood sugar levels?
Is that your pancreas?
Correct.
Yes.
And finally, I've got 2 because I thought one was too easy. Do you want easy or hard?
Let's go hard.
Okay. What shape is an elliptical orbit?
Oval.
Correct.
Okay. I thought that was a trick question then, because an ellipse is an oval.
Yeah. No. I didn't know an ellipse was a shape.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't know. I've only ever heard of an elliptical orbit. Do you want to know what the alternative question would have been?
Yes. Yeah. What was the easy one?
Okay, you can have this as question 6 bonus. Who lives with the Brown family at 32 Windsor Gardens?
Paddington.
That's correct.
Excellent.
So what answers have you got so far?
So I've got Angel of the North, Cockerel, Pancreas, Oval, and Paddington. Right. Now I'm trying to work out the connection. And are they tube stations?
Yes.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah. Or tube lines. Yeah. Tube stations.
The answer is underground stations. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's you thinking?
So what's the third? What was the third answer? What's a
what the film franchise?
Is it Bond?
Correct.
Yes. Brilliant.
So yeah, have you got them all? So
yes.
What did you get for number 2?
Cockerel.
But what's that? What could that one be?
Is it cockermouth?
first syllable's correct.
No, yes. Oh, what's the station called?
It's at the end of the Piccadilly line, I think.
Yes, it is. What's it called?
This train will terminate at.
Yeah, and I laugh every single time I hear it.
Yes. Did you like King's Cross St Pancras, by the way?
Yes, I did. Yes.
we're just not talking about that one.
No, we won't go there with your like almost rhymes or almost correct words. Yeah. What's it called? Come on, tell me.
The next letter is F. So cock. F. F-O. F-O-S.
Oh, Cockfosters. That's it.
Yes.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? So there you go. Angel of the North, Cockfosters, Pancras, King's Cross St Pancras, Bond Street, Paddington, and Oval. Yeah, so the underground stations. Well done.
Fantastic. Amazing. I tell you what, these get better every week.
Good. I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear the feedback. I do enjoy.
You're becoming a great quiz master. You'll have to keep all of these and go do a pub quiz somewhere.
The 7 minutes that now I'd get lynched if I start asking everyone like if they've heard of King's Cross St Pancras. Someone have the wheels off my car. Oh,
right. Okay, so we shall leave it there at 1 hour and 53 minutes.
Oh dear, that is a PB
for this week. Yeah, but thank you so much for listening once again. We will be back next week for a recap on Andy's race, and I am sure you will all join me in wishing him the best at Newport. Best of luck, Andy. Go and smash it, mate. I can't wait for it either. So, yeah, run well, run like the wind, and it's on, Andrew. Aha!
I can't wait.
Right. Cheers, guys. See you next week.
This train will terminate at Cockfosters.